with the withdrawal agreement, the legally binding treaty. It was to do with the nature of the political declaration and the absolute lack of clarity about where the then Prime Minister wanted to take the country. Now, that's my view, and other members have got different views. If I could bring this back, if honourable members will forgive me, I'm not going to give way further at this point. I have been reasonably generous, and I am conscious of the time. The evidence before us about the consequences of no deal, it's really important that we acknowledge that, because it is the fundamental reason behind the bill. As we heard from my right honourable friend, the member for Pontefract, Normanton and Castleford, when she moved her bill earlier this year, it was reported that the Cabinet Secretary and the National Security Advisor, Sir Mark Sedwill, had told the previous Cabinet that no deal would make our country less safe. Now, if the National Security Advisor says that to the Cabinet, we ought to pay attention. All of us have seen the Government's own economic assessment that makes it clear that no deal would cause the greatest loss to the economy. We know that Make UK, for example, the body that represents British manufacturing industry, have described no deal as an act of economic vandalism. And since we last debated the question of an extension, new information has come to light about the consequences of no deal. The Government itself has now admitted that there would be damage to companies. Why? Because they've said they're prepared to compensate certain businesses and industries, which is the first time in my experience the Government has advocated a policy that they know will do economic damage. If I could just finish this point. And Operation Yellowhammer, the report that was published in the Sunday Times, talked about the potential for protests, for significant delays, for lorries at Dover and other ports, and we heard very powerful evidence on that subject only this morning in the Brexit Select Committee. A potential impact on medicines, decrease in the supply of fresh foods and some price rises, impact on petrol refineries, huge uncertainty for businesses, serious damage to farmers, and in some ways, given the progress that Northern Ireland have made in the last 20 years, most worrying of all, expressing the view that the current open border between Northern Ireland and the Republic could be unsustainable because of economic, legal and biosecurity risks. I will give way to